All right, folks. Sorry about that. Just need to buy myself some time. Running behind here. It's Friday, March 24th. So I'm going to start with the banking stocks and the situation in the macro economy. Look, I'm still where I'm at. I think this regional banking crisis is the beginning, could very well be the beginning of what we saw between Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers. Very dangerous times. You got to figure out what's your hedge going to be. Moving into gold, Bitcoin, bonds, even mega cap tech, right? But it's very volatile. The money is like coming in and out really fast, trying to find out where the market wants to hedge this this credit crunch. Let's call it what it is. This is a credit crunch reminiscent of 2009, and we see lots of evidence about that. And I'll go into a little more detail about that evidence. But today, look at TLT. Here, TLT is trying to break above the 200 DMA. So is this going to be the next flight to safety, right? This is a big move. I've been talking about TLT for a while now. It's a little tricky because the Fed got more hawkish, right? When the Fed got more hawkish, the bonds didn't react as well. I was expecting gold not to react as well, but it took off. People are confused. They're looking for a safe haven. Moving billions and hundreds of billions of dollars around. And again, I think the targets are mostly gold, Bitcoin. It's been mega cap tech and gold bonds. I'm sorry, been mega cap tech and Bitcoin. I'm hoping it does that. But Bitcoin, I've soured on a little bit because they're targeting Coinbase. So this is getting very tricky finding a hedge. Look, I'm going to harken back to my experience in 2009. I went through that. And after that all ended, I made an observation that the only way to have made money during that crisis was to be short, to have some puts, because at the end of the day, everything went down, right? Very hard to find hedge, very hard to find safety. And I'll tell you what I'm most worried about and what I'm seeing, which is a sign of real danger. First of all, wait, with the regional banks, right? With the hawkish pivot that the hawkish doubling down that Powell did on Wednesday. And I actually marked it to the moment. I put in all cap letters. I'm like, this is it. Was right here, right at the high. I wish I did something about it, but at least I told you guys. I'm like, this is the turning point of the event, right? When he said, do not doubt us, right? Do not doubt us that we're going to get to 2%. That was the turning point. That's when the market actually believed him and said, uh-oh, rates are going to stay elevated. It's bad for the bank runs. We can see a continuation of the bad bank runs, and it's also bad for any companies that need to raise money. And you've seen like the weakness in stocks like DRIO, which needs to raise money, down 20% since the earnings report. You see the weakness in LLAP, which they've acknowledged they need to raise money. This sharp decline here from like 225 to down here 150 really happened after the banking crisis set in. So these are little bits of evidence, and I bet you Zynex probably not Zynex. I'm sorry. I bet you SMSI isn't faring well because there's a chance of a capital raise there as well. I'll hang it up at $1. But look, the danger is there's a few things working against microcaps. People want cash. They're scared. They need cash. If you're an illiquid microcap, people will sell at any price to raise cash. Number one. Number two, the relative safety, the perceived safety of mega caps become higher. So people may be moving money out of microcaps to go into those mega caps. And then you have the issue with, does this microcap need to raise money? And you can have a situation where, for example, DRIO, right? You could say, hey, based on their book of business in 2024 and beyond, this could be a $500 million company. This could be $1 billion company a couple years from now. But the problem is, if you need bridge financing, right? And that's what we're seeing with LLAP. They may need another bridge financing. DRIO may need a bridge financing to get to the other side. If you need that, on what terms do you get that, right? And the shorts are out there circling, looking for blood. And, I've seen this in 2009. I've seen stocks trading at like negative EVs for extended period of times. They're just circling. And also I've seen the sharks come and target banks for bank runs. By targeting the stock, doing a short attack on the stock would impact the psychology of the consumer and say, oh, this bank must be in trouble. Let me do withdrawals. So there's basically sharks circling, looking for vulnerable companies. This is a very, very dangerous time. Now, if you have a longer term horizon, maybe you can withstand being in microcaps. But if you're trading, it's very hard right now and very, very dangerous. that's a story, and really catalysts that you want to look for if you are in one of these microcaps is make sure they have the financing they need. And a positive catalyst is they get the financing, right? They get that financing and it's big enough so there's no doubt that they can get to the other side and get to profitability with this latest financing. That's a catalyst to buy stock. So these are very, very dangerous times, okay? Now, let's go to some specific stocks. And it's been tough for me, by the way, because I made the decision to sell all my DRIO trading shares, not my long-term shares. But this decision was more fueled by the fact that I'm moving all my money into a hedge fund that's going to start trading sometime soon. Originally, we'd slated April 3rd, but it might end up being April 15th or so. And it sucks because I got to liquidate that money to move the money over. And not only that, but while all the transfers are happening and the monies are settling and everything, like I won't even have access to trade. Understand this. It's a difficult situation, but in any case, let's look at some of the catalysts and what's going on. Birds, look, they had 3 days in a row of insider trading. It was 1, 2, 3 days in a row. The first one is million shares and 3 different people. This is up against the 50 DMA. Yesterday, they did have some news that they're expanding in Greater Toronto area, and this thing's pushing up. Look, I misplayed this. I'm not going to try again. 50 DMA is right here. I'll just give you the levels, okay? About 20 cents is your resistance. Your support's about 17 cents. This is record volume already. This is the highest volume in its history right now. So potentially with that high volume, there's trade opportunities with between the supports and resistances. If you want to give it a try, I could see that working. Okay, so 16 cents and 20 cents. And if it breaks it, then, you know, the sky's kind of the limit here. 30 cents, actually. 30 cents would be your target there. And then take it from there. Now, I want to mention a couple things here. MSOS. Let's do MSOS first. There was some news out this morning from Altria. Marlboro Cigarettes looks to double its smoke-free revenue in 5 years and considers expanding to cannabis and caffeine pouches. Okay, this is a headline I saw in our legacy WhatsApp room. I saw a note from Chris that apparently there's a headline they want to move to healthier products. Maybe that's part of the bigger release. I'm just looking at the summary of it. So if that's true that they said something about healthier products, if this is why they're doing this, smoke-free revenue, maybe that could be a catalyst, improve sentiment for a stock like XXII, which broke support yesterday. Very bad luck. Now, they seem to have enough bridge financing to get to the other side at this point. So a little bit not, thrilled with the fact that this broke support. Now, part of that bridge financing is an ATM, and maybe that's what's causing the weakness on the stock. 20 million is non-dilutive. But after that 20 million, if they have to tap into an ATM, that's going to be dilutive. Is that why they're punishing this stock? I'm not so sure. A little bit, it could be. You never know. In these times, you're probably having lots of margin calls in the market. It's possible you see dislocations in specific stocks, specific microcaps. Look, when I sold DRIO yesterday, I made that decision. I'm moving the money over. I mean, I was 1/3 of the volume yesterday, and I probably was almost totally responsible for the price coming down from like $4.30 to $4 yesterday. So, knowing full well it might come up after that, but I had to make that decision. So, in any case, maybe that's what's going on with XXII yesterday, because a little bit tough to explain why they would be targeting this company if they just got enough cash to hopefully reach the other side. All right. So, but the MSOS news, the Altria news here could possibly be a positive sentiment for XXII. Air hit our target in 2 days, right? We gave you 2-3 days ago. I think it was 30. It was the open on Tuesday morning when it was 33. I'm pretty sure that's when I said $40 target on this, but I'm not sure exactly the time, but we reiterated it a couple times, 40, 40, 40, 40. It came, it went, it hit. Congratulations if you traded it. I'm just holding in my long-term account. And unfortunately, only a 25% position, because right here on this day, I did kind of panic. I sold 75% of my shares at 31, thankfully not 25 or 24, 23, but I sold 100%, but I bought 25% back a couple days later after things calmed down. They released their explanation and we saw technical strength. That's when I got back in on 25% position. Man, I should have held it all. If I held all my air from $2.50, I could buy an island right now. Oh my gosh. All right. Exaggerating a little bit, but I would have been much better off. But anyway, what else I want to talk about? MOGO here had earnings yesterday, had a nice close yesterday above the 20 DMA. So this potentially has room to the 50 DMA at 72 cents. I don't have a full handle of the fundamentals, so I'm not going to make that prediction. It's story trading. I like to see all of it, have a good understanding of fundamental, sentiment, catalyst, and technicals. So if you looked at that, if you think that report was positive, then guess what? You got positive technicals here, and you can get a move to 72 cents on MOGO. All right, LLAP. This is important. We got a minute till Vegas comes. LLAP, we are interviewing the CEO at 3:45 p.m. And you should know by now that a huge catalyst and probably a big reason for the pressure on the stock is the binary event of the ITU decision on this $2.4 billion Rivada project. Well, guess what? As we sit here right now at 9:14 a.m. New York time on Friday, March 24th, the decision has already been made. It's now just a matter of that decision being finalized for the record in Switzerland, which may have happened here right now, 5 minutes ago. It will definitely happen by about 12 p.m. noon. By 12 p.m. noon today, that decision will be in the books in Geneva, Switzerland, and it's a matter of how quickly is that information disseminated. And I know that the decision will be up on their website by Monday or Tuesday next week, more likely Monday. The question is this to the big stakeholders before our 3:45 p.m. meeting with Mark Bell? I don't fully know the answer to that. It's definitely possible. All right. So 3:45 p.m. Interesting timing that Mark Bell chose to speak with us. And this could be a major catalyst to the downside or the upside. Okay. This can definitely crash to probably its 52-week lows if this gets rejected, right? We're talking about $1.30. And I'm thinking you get $2, easy move to at least $2 if it gets approved. So big binary event, and whoever can be the first to know if this got approved or not is going to make the right decisions. I'm currently long. If I find out that it's not approved, I'm going to sell everything in a hot second. And if I find out it's approved, even though I'm not supposed to be trading right now as I wait for funds to settle, I will probably jump on that, even if it means delaying some of the funds transferring. I will probably jump on that if we find out it's approved, because I do think there's a 90% plus probability the stock will sharply move to $2 as soon as that information gets disseminated to the market. Now, after that is a question, and I've been collaborating with Julian, and he brings up a good points about the credit crunch, right? So even if this is approved, then the next question is going to be, well, how can we be sure that whoever made the commitments for $2.4 billion in this credit crunch environment is going to stick with that commitment, right? And that will still reflect some doubt on LLAP's cash flow, and will they need to raise? Are they actually going to get this money? So there's still going to be questions swirling, and it's possible because of those concerns about the credit crunch that after the initial pop, you can see it fade. Okay, so just this is a tough environment, but all eyes on LLAP today. Small possibility the decision will be released on their website today, this afternoon. Very small possibility, but it is possible. I've been in touch with the ITU administrative office, and they said it is possible that it'll be released today, depending on what time the meeting ends in Geneva, which is ongoing right now, or which may have already ended. Okay, they typically end at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., in between 11 and 5 p.m. local time Geneva, but most often it closes between 4 and 5 p.m. local time, which again is around noon our time. All right, let me just ping Vegas because I don't see her here yet. Okay, and while we wait for her, let's see if there's anything else to cover. So that's the story with LLAP. By the way, ASUR Software, we're interviewing the CEO next Wednesday. This is holding up very, very well. Pointed this out yesterday as one of the stronger stocks. What were the three strong stocks I told you about yesterday? It was ASUR, AIR, and PERI. They were the three. And I was wrong about DRIO. I was hoping based on that huge deal with Amwell that this could break the 20 DMA, make a move to 5. I waited for that. Didn't happen. So whatever, I had to sell, unfortunately, because of the timing of things. So that didn't happen. That I was wrong on. But ASUR, AIR, and PERI continued to make significant moves. PERI, a new 52-week high yesterday. AIR, a new 52-week high yesterday. By the way, look at the RSI here. It's low. 64.73. Look at the history of this thing. When it cycles upwards, it tends to go towards 70 to 75, not just 65. So possibility this breaks into the lower 40s, but I'm not going to bank on that or make any trades on that. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. RELL had their meeting yesterday. By the way, let's see how that did. No, it's still on 20 DMA. So I did not listen to their website, their update at the conference. Probably a good thing to listen to. Let's see what else we got. Meta been strong. This is the Meta. I don't know how long this can last, man. This whole like flight to the big caps because they have the good balance sheets, right? You have the Meta and you have Microsoft. Of course, you have ChatGPT as a tailwind over here. I really don't know how long this can last. I mean, the QQQ looks good, but like I'm not chasing this other than I have some Microsoft in my long-term account. I have a Tesla. I think I have CrowdStrike. Like there's a couple, like not huge positions though, but I'm just concerned that this just looks like what happened again, 2008, 2009. After Bear Stearns, markets rocketed 15%, only to decline 50% in the next 6 months after that. And that's kind of my base case, man. Could be wrong, but I'm really worried about that. All right, let me see if there's one more stock we can cover while we wait. Chris gave this to us. NOTE down 15% this morning to 205. Yesterday, they had some chat GPT news. So you can take a look at that news. I don't know the significance of it, but the headline looks fun. And that's why the stock was up yesterday significantly at 275, pulling back to 220. I'm not going to make a prediction here because I didn't look at that press release closely, so I can't interpret how impactful that press release could be in terms of sentiment and fundamentals. But just putting this on your radar because it did have high volatility yesterday, high volume this morning. So the day perhaps supports down here at 180 to the downside if you want to play that to the upside. And Vegas, I don't know. Where's Vegas at? It is 9:21. We'll give her 2 or 3 more minutes. We'll just keep talking because market's not open. If she doesn't come, that's fine. We'll have to reschedule. By the way, guess what? Guess what I'm working on? I'm working on getting a weekly segment with Rex. Rex, man, remember him? I love Rex. Well, Rex is back on the scene in a very public way. He opened his own Discord, and we're going to feature him here, most likely, God willing, once a week on our show. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have that announcement as soon as it's ready, and I'll let you know about that. All right. If you have any questions, actually, while we wait to see if Vegas comes on, go ahead. You can throw it in the chat box over there, and we can look at some specific stocks while we wait. Just look at this price action here on LLAP. You have XXII here. Man, that was a washout. So I'd like to monitor social media this morning and see if anyone is putting 2 and 2 together with the Altria announcement. In terms of their VLN cigarettes, right? If they're making a move towards safer products, XXII, an obvious potential buyout candidate. I'd like to read what other people are thinking about that, so I haven't done that yet. And I guess while we're waiting, let me just refresh the ITU website. No decision there yet. And let's see what else we got. No chat comments. All right, let's look at the news since 8:55. Let's see if we can find something new while we wait. So let's actually go to 8:50 when I left the house. All right. Ally Financial names Goldman Sachs veteran. No. Wells Fargo maintains Microsoft. Not interesting. American Airlines sees passenger traffic demand. I'm not interested as we enter recession. What is this stock doing, by the way? Yeah, I'm not interested. Look at that. I'm not interested in airlines as we're going through a credit crunch. MOGO, Raymond James maintains outperforming MOGO, lowers price target to 150. We talked about that chart on MOGO, lowers price target to 150. What else we got here? MOGO maintained outperformed by Raymond James. Is that the same one? Yep, that's the same alert. Raymond James, Coinbase shares are trading lower. Okay, Honeywell to present. All right, let's just look closer at bank stocks. I want to see if any particular bank stock is vulnerable. I think I had pointed out one of these that had a bad chart. Zion is what it was. I saw Zion looked like it was really under stress. So, like, this is something to look at today. I don't know which regional bank it is, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a regional bank. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Did you? No way. I did not see that comment, Yosef, about Zion. I'm like, all right, this one stuck out to me yesterday as a bank that might be it might be being targeted. Like, so I would look on social. I actually briefly looked on social media to see if there were rumors starting to circulate on Zion, to see if people are talking about, oh, they're weak or whatever. Like, maybe there's going to be a bank run. I only like did a quick search. I didn't look into it, and I didn't see anything that popped out at me. But I would monitor this. This looked like the weakest of the regional stocks when I see this price movement here. You basically broke all the supports, and the next support is down here at 22.55, right? So to me, this looks like a stock that's begging to retest 22.55 and might break lower. And we're in an environment where it almost doesn't make sense. And it doesn't matter what the balance sheet and the fundamentals are when it comes to these regional banks. It just matters who's being targeted. Now, they tend to target the weakest banks first. Remembering going back to 2009, they're going to target the weakest institutions first. But not necessarily, right? These hedge funds can go in and say, you know, who can we make a run on? And if you look at these other ones, they look healthier. You look at, see this, you see how it's stabilized well above this low up here, WAL. PACW, let's see how that looks. Also a little bit better because it held these lows here from these days right here. So FRC, I don't like at all. Like this more fundamentally, like just reading what's in the news and the sentiment wise, I think this is going to be. I've been saying they'd be lucky to sell out at $5 to $10 or raise capital 5 to 10. Sticking with that now, $12. But chart wise, this one looks most precarious. Zion. It looks like it was being targeted yesterday. So we'll have to see. Going into a weekend, this is usually when it happens. This is usually when they'll target banks on a Friday and then have their payday on a Monday at the cost of causing panic in the markets. That's the environment we're in right now, I believe. Okay. All right. Anyway, Vegas didn't make it here. I don't know what happened. So we'll have to bring her on another time. And with that, we're out. And guys, tune in. Come early, because we only have 15 minutes to read Mark Bell's body language from 3:45 to him. If you want to make an interpretation based on his body language that, oh, he got the decision, right? So let's come early to that Zoom at like 3:40 p.m. or something like that, so we can start interviewing him right at 3:45 p.m. and try to get some answers so that it can be actionable before the close. All right. And with that, I'm out of here. We'll see you at make it 3:40 p.m. this afternoon.